let's begin to expand on what I talked about in a previous video. So I talked about real estate, karma, and medicine, medical welfare, sex espionage. I want to talk about a particular type of real estate that might be at risk for both having things done wrong and for later the Neptune karma, or for having karma. Okay, if that's something that has been prolonged. For example, we can think about things since Neptune in Scorpio, which was another Mars sign, or Neptune in Capricorn or Aquarius, okay, Saturn sign. Okay, you want to think about the interactions of the planets. So the real estate that can get karma, anything that was, let's say, for example, in Hebrew we say chalutzi, which basically means, let's say there wasn't a settlement and you have a settlement. So sometimes at first it is illegal, it can get standardized. So think about illegal settlements can get both standardized or evacuated. You think about any settlement that had begun with something that is new. So it's going to get a little bit of karma. Because Aries is innovation. Barren land, okay, so real estate in deserts. For example, let's think about another thing. The Sahara Desert has been reforested, okay? There might be a flood. So you want to think about that. So any desert area, desert land that has real estate on it, any real estate, particularly hospitals, jails, and places where they do sex espionage or sex trafficking, because Neptune unfortunately is organized crime. Also buildings of pharmaceutical companies, insurance companies, banks invested with pharmaceuticals or real estate, weather manipulation places, okay? Why? Because we talk about waves, okay? Places where the house is listed as one thing, but is actually another. So you want to think about also businesses such like that, okay? So places where the house is not listed, okay? We want to think about new cities. You want to think about new hospitals, okay? And so we're going to see both a tendency. Oh, fictitious estate. So somebody has a Ponzi scheme or a scheme where they say, I'm selling you a house, we're going to build that house. Nothing. Hotels, okay? I'm going to be talking about that a lot. I think it was when Neptune was in Aquarius, that to me it's the 12th house, that it was all these schemes about like real estate. I remember I once went to a company in Israeli that they were doing sales of, I don't remember what it was, and you're supposed to have a meeting. And then I do a couple of calls, and then I feel my throat is sore, something is problem, it's difficult for me to talk. And then I speak with someone who says me that this is a scam, for like they sell the units that don't really exist in hotels and then like investments. I did not show up the next day. I did not come to pick up my salary. I did not come to pick anything. I couldn't. And that's it. Okay? 47th floor in Israeli, I think it was. If you see Israeli building, it's given 9/11. Okay, this is Neptune karma I wasn't seeing coming. I think I was working there at about this time. No? Because, oh, that was after I finished high school, probably. Also, not this time. Because I wanted, oh my God, I was looking for a job. Okay. Israeli building. You have no idea how much time I spent in Israeli building. It is. Fuck. Oh my God. I don't remember the name of the company, but I think it was 47th floor in Israeli building. One of those business buildings, and they had a company that did that. Oh my God. Israeli building. In general. But not for this. There's way worse things. Anyway, developers of warfare. So you think about the real estate where they develop, let's say, the Rafael company, okay, or Shimkotek Ludan company, right, or for Shimkotek, but not for war things, for bus things, and have the machine where you have the tickets in the bus. So, so now you get my CV. Banks that have credit fraud. Why? Loans, leverage is Neptune, loans is Mars, debt. Fraud is also Neptune. Credit, both Neptune but also Mars, because Mars is finances, is fiscal activity. Mars is action, but also fiscal action. Oh my lordies, oh my lordies, all my saying no to corruption beginning to cash in. But you see, when you listen to me, it's my Neptune square. It's a transit, okay? But the thing is, you listen to a person that's been the marginalized, that's been saying no to corruption, okay? So for other people, most humanity, you might not even see this sometime. You might see the Ponzi schemes. You might be, okay? You might get into a Ponzi scheme yourself. Or you might, unfortunately, it can happen to me as well. But yeah, the real estate that these companies are all sitting on, get karma. Talk about weapon industry, oil and gases. Where they develop oil and gases, nuclear, because it's going to try Neptune, Pluto. Neptune is the radiation from the nuclear. Pluto is the transformation of the nuke. Why am I getting my neighbor now? I just got my neighbor. Dimona? You ask about Dimona. I'm not saying yes, but I'm not saying no. It really got the energy of my neighbor right now. She's studying psychology. The nuclear facilities, yes. Again, I'm not saying it's going to be an explosion, but the definitely. Ooh, Chernobyl. I need to talk to my neighbor. I need to visit my neighbor. It's so funny. Me and her have a conversation. Okay. There can be another Chernobyl. Okay, just to mention that. You want to think about Pluto entering Capricorn, and there was the financial crisis of 2008, and then what we have right now. Okay, so you want to think about something like that happening as well. Stocks crash, pharmaceutical companies, the building, the real estate. Okay. Now it may be because of taxation. It may be because something is listed as one thing but is another. Is it also academic structures? Well, for the medicine, can be. Yes, I don't know why I got my neighbor. It is the housing, is the city where I live. Okay, they try to make it a human trafficking hub. I need to talk with my neighbor. Yeah, especially if they're thinking to buy a place there. I saw the signs. Okay, you see, when you see suddenly signs, and even in English, human trafficking is da 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 da. Human trafficking can happen anywhere. Da 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 da. Okay, haven't you seen that in your city? It's not raising awareness to human trafficking. Okay, I want to say that. I got a feeling I got a deep conversation with my neighbor. I don't know why. I don't know why. Maybe she's talked to my landlord. There was a leak in the bathroom. I don't know if it was some leak or something that needs to be fixed. I have no idea. Maybe she called him and that's what's fixed her. I don't know. So I'm seeing her, but this is very late right now. So I don't know why I'm receiving her right now. Maybe she checked my Facebook to see if I'm okay and she saw my posts. Or it can be that, okay, the either forces or enforcement are done for the real estate. I don't know. But anyway, there can be, yes, be karma on that real estate. You want to think about when Gaza was bombed and they bombed the Shifa hospital and they bombed the Bir Zet. So you want to think about medical experiments that were being done there, the way they treated patients. Now, of course, when that damn fuckery happens, I wasn't having the time of my life in 7th October, nor was I in these days. So yeah, you want to think about those things. What is more? Particularly the real estate. Okay, whenever there is natural resources, for example, next to the Dead Sea, a giant ton of gas and oils. Okay. So you want to think about those. There will be medical welfare around that, unfortunately. And I said they money launder it from human trafficking. So they want to make a human trafficking city and then a money launder on gas and oil. Places where you didn't know there are natural resources, there might be. Neptune looks like miraculous wealth. Okay? It is not miraculous, it's something that has been done for decades sometimes. Places where they grow the plants, Saturn, to treat inflammation. Why do I say there's karma for these places? There can be a food around that. There can be something that the karma will be later. Places where they grow particular herbs to treat inflammation, or pharmaceuticals that supposedly to treat inflammation, or drugs that even cause inflammations. So drug factory in general, because it's Neptune, so I think about people, that there can be a booming of people trying to grow. Oh, people that have been, woohoo, if you have been growing something you shouldn't be growing in your house, or something you should be growing but is not legal, tend to that now. You might not be able to hide it. Neptune can be something that is hidden. So, but I wouldn't rely on that with Saturn. Definitely not with Pluto. It tends to uncover things that are hidden. You might discover something you didn't know around your housing, and that gets karma. Okay? So, for example, there very likely have been cameras where I live. I think my neighbor would find out something as well in her apartment. That is something I could see coming. Surveillance, okay? Think about the Starlink. You vote safe as Starlink, those things. But also mirrors, reflecting through mirrors, astral projecting through mirrors. I think the fact that when I'm not there, something's going on. Missing, something to do with the missing. Structures where missing people have been held. So it can be hostages, it can be kidnapped people. The real estate gets karma. Also, if people take drugs illegally, and it's not a judgment of people that take drugs illegally, okay? Most people, they need it, okay? When they do that, they need to change, okay? For the condition, for the housing and so on. But there's going to be some sort of karma. Either they get housing, or either they get caught. At first, they're going to try to put a lot of people in hospitals, housing hostels, jails, and stuff like that. There's going to be masses of people. Cities, okay, cities, for not to turn into ghettos, but it's not yet. It's more like new cities, or something that began as a settlement, or has a unique cities, okay? Some giant karma. Neptune, Saturn karma, Neptune giant, okay? Neptune is the fluid. So you think about the wave is karma, the tsunami is the fluid, okay? Areas where it always says there can be tsunami, there can be tsunami, there can be tsunami, especially where the desert meets the sea. He said they can be careful tsunami, and the sign is old and rusty. Okay, remember that. Stay away when upon the ingress. So yes, you would want to be particularly cautious of fucked up real estate deals and of identity fraud related to that. I recommend to you today, write letter to Ministry of Interior Affairs of every passport that you have, and declare what your name, what your details, what your income. Okay, be honest. What your income, what your assets, just voluntarily, okay? And to say anything that is not this, is not in my name, not on my name, and this is a fraud, okay? I did this in Israel and in Netherlands because I had my passport stolen, my Israeli passport stolen. It was an expired passport, but they took it anyway. And so declare that. It's very important. If you watch this, do that, because this is legally binding, okay? It means that you have declared. If every citizen in the world did that, there would not be called Cassandra so much. You won't find her bank pass unless it's the person that wants to get 100 grand for it, 100,000 euros for it, and it doesn't seem like there is the I should say, brigade of police that would say, aha, now let's investigate you. No, that's not how it works. So, okay. Every citizen in the world declared to the Ministry of Interior Affairs, write your name for your assets, what you have, declare it openly, say any other business, any other thing, any this, any that is done is not in my name. It's identity theft. If you do it today, when Saturn Neptune hits the karma, we might have a 9/11 on human trade. And you're gonna get investments that actually yield. And you're gonna get medicine that actually yields. And you're gonna get world peace, I'll tell you that. Because you basically, the money runs out for world wars. But you can't do what? You can't do rape, you can't do child labor, you can't do, okay, all these things that put people in the crime, okay? And you declare it to the Ministry of Interior Affairs because this is where the identity lies. They will say, oh, you need to report to police. This is, no, they work with police. I reported to you. This is legally binding. That's it. You don't, no to police, no to anybody. Nobody can persecute you from these places. It's identity theft. Your identity is given to you, your ID, your passport, by Ministry of Interior Affairs. Then you report, no one else. You don't talk to anybody else. Say, I don't talk. They work with police. They work with this. They work with that. Now, of course, they work with Ministry of Interior Affairs. But that's what they want, to send it over to the police. To send it, no. You gave me this ID, you in charge. If you work with Ministry of Interior Affairs, okay, this is a good time. Remember the Great Resignation. Because you will be held accountable, and if it's because you were tortured, then you basically did not consent. Okay, you'll have to whistleblow, but you not consent. And if masses of people say, I never consented, there was no housing for me, there was no this, there was no that, then you're very likely good. And most people, even if you weren't called, you never consented. Okay, it's just so. The issue is to fix the problem, not to do headhunt. Unfortunately, remember when the US had this McCarthyism? Because Aries is head and Neptune Saturn is communism, so it can give, unfortunately, blacklisting. Witch hunt, all that, not so nice things. But remember, the real estate of those who do that. Okay? Saturn is orthodoxy. Neptune is something so mythical, viral, so think about, okay, I think we understand what I'm talking about. As real estate karma. Okay, don't be fooled. Pluto is underground. There can be situations, but what was underground is now in the air. That means both drugs, people kidnapped, missing. Everything that was in the tunnels, monasteries. I heard about a plane that flies for 9 months or 6 months or something like that they plan. Some people want to get married on that plane, I don't know. A flying hotel. Oh my God. okay, things might drop from the sky that are not rain. Yeah. um, it will sextile Uranus, and the tsunami usually comes with an earthquake, and there's nukes everywhere, so expect radiation. Okay. What else? What to do about it? First of all, with Neptune, there are things that are tending to diagnosis of something. So, tend to the issue. Don't, if let's say, if an apartment contract goes wrong right now, yes, don't fight for your life to stay in this estate. If you are a landlord and you try to increase the rent, don't fight for your life if the tenant doesn't have money to stay. Okay, because you might not see tenants in a decade or two. So just to who, okay. Mars is real estate, and it's not like a moon. Moon is housing. No, Mars is real estate. Okay. Moon is housing. Mars is real estate. Now, what's the difference between housing and real estate? If we're talking about housing, then if you take care of the house and this and that, and it's cozy and so on, it's housing. When you try to make it a human trafficking hub and raise the bar and this is already real estate. Are you a house owner, even when you have tenants? Or is this a real estate? You got to be authentic to yourself with Pluto. Was there a certain dream when you made this estate? This is going to be hotel. This is going to be Airbnb. There might be a situation where you're recruited. In Israel, 7th October. Before that, when I was homeless, I was told by welfare woman, she said, I don't have a 5-star hotels for you. Okay? 7th October, people were evacuated to 5-star hotels. Okay? But that was entire couple of months, 6 months, I think. They were there. Not only the circumstances of the evacuation were not so good, but also there was pandemic, there were rapes, it was not the best form of living. It's one hotel room, sometimes you live a family in one hotel room. So it's not exactly a vacay. And so, but there were hotels, right? There were 5-star hotels for people that didn't have houses, right? Anyway, so when they make of these hotels human trafficking or this or that, because when they do that, they do this with human trafficking. Also, people that did type of magic manifestation, that some people will be in human trade. Okay? That is not a course of action that, let's just put it that way. there's a principle in business called scratch your own itch. You see, I learned aromatherapy in the short time that I was taking in people, and have essential oil blends. Okay, I didn't do like massages or stuff like that. But the first drop from the blend I would use myself. Okay, so I always had a taste of my own medicine. I'm gonna say that. And I'm not talking about back to sender. Okay, back to sender is very simply put. If you do something to put someone in human trafficking, death penalty for you is assisted death. Okay? It's crime against humanity. Okay? Because people in this situation, they don't even, it's not even about they wish to die or they wish they had a way to end it. This is given Eichmann, this is given all those things. So people that counting on that being an income. Okay? And this is assisted death. Why I say assisted death? Because usually people do this, not like they woke up one day and want to kill entire humanity. No, they went through this themselves. And this is, in a way, assisted death is appropriate, okay? Because you won't be able to live with the fact of what you had to do and so on. It's like, the recovery, I don't know. And Neptune is about being helpless, unable to act on something. Saturn is restriction, limitation. You want to be particularly careful of a situation where somebody is put in restriction, limitation, ability for someone to act. If they are abusive, let's just say, I would not there's karma, okay? Let's just put it that way. The things that people have been told that they can get away from, they have not been calculated in the time. That is also to remember. And again, as with Neptune, repent, correction of ways. Yes, it has a place when it's truly correction of ways. It has a place. It's not about, but for also there might be opportunity where in the past there wasn't. So opportunity to get out of such venues of making money. Real estate, think about the real estate of OnlyFans. The real estate where they put all the sex bots on Instagram and Twitter. X. Real estate of global surveillance. That's here. Real estate of the Pentagon, the Kremlin, the those, that. Why? Because it is international intelligence. If it sounds like a world war, you're not imagining. Because what could bring karma on all these buildings, all these structures, right? Now, those that have been considering to take advantage of this to create such a state, okay? Let's say when Neptune reaches conjunction with Aries, I would think about this point today and not get there. Also, you may find what happens with people that are helpless, and there's restriction. Helpless and restriction, what happens? They begin to what? Astral project. All those dumb fuckeries that have been astral projecting, raping people. Okay. Karma to the invisible hurting of people. Especially when it comes to real estate. You see, Mars is not about housing, it's real estate. We talk about karma on organized crime to do with real estate.